What's up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 34. Joining me tonight is a No Prep Kings Futures driver and real cowboy, Danny Topol. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Good, man. Hey, first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
I've been following you here since you saw you on social media and heard that you're going to be joining the No Prep Kings Futures class this year. So it's been a little bit. I've been trying, and I'm glad I could finally get you on an episode here, man, so we can learn more about you, and then the fans can learn more about you.
Very cool.
So what's up, man? So first off, I don't know much about you, man, so I want to kind of talk about it all if you want.
Yeah.
First off, I want to know, let's talk about your No Prep Kings car.
Okay. So it's 68 Camaro. Yeah, 68 Camaro. It was a small tire Grudge car for quite a while from back east. Everybody knew the car. The ruler owned the car. It's a fast car. It's a Pat Musey motor deal, so we're nitrous guys. It's got a 959 in it. Todd Buckner at TNT Fabrications actually built the car. Mincer, obviously suspension all the way around. Mark's going to help us out quite a bit this year. He's an amazing guy. So the struts and the shocks, all that fun stuff's with them. Right now, the car is actually back east at TNT getting the back redone to put the big tires on the car. It's turning into more of a pain in the butt than I was hoping. Getting the rear end housing, we're putting a full floater in there, and getting that housing's been a little bit of a nightmare, but trying to get all that buttoned up. Todd is a busy shop, but he's getting on it and trying to get it knocked out for us. But, man, I mean, the motor is all fresh, 0 hits, new converter, trans. The rear end's going to be brand new. The struts, everything is pretty new on the car. So we definitely like to get out there and try to make some test hits and make sure that everything holds together and we can get it to go straight.
Hell yeah. How long, so you got the big old 959 in there. How long have you raced with that motor? Have you used that before?
This is the craziest part. So I've been pretty lucky and blessed. I've raced everything from a street car, and then I've been paid to hop in a pro mod car before. So I've raced a pretty wide range of stuff. That car in particular, I helped broker the deal between that car coming from back east to get to Roger Holder, who owned it. In the small tire world, anybody that's on here that's watching, Roger Holder, a lot of people know him. He runs Pro 275, and he's fast. He's always been one of the fastest guys on the West Coast. So he said, I want the fastest Grudge car there is. I said, well, it's a nitrous car, and you're a turbo dude, so you probably wouldn't want it. It's too cool for you, because I'm not a fan of turbos. He said, I don't care. I want it. So he ended up going down there and buying that car, and it's fast. So needless to say, some time passes. Roger has a lot of cars, so this car ends up getting put on the rack at the shop. We end up going down there and buying the car from Roger. We take it to the very first race with that car. I make an 8th mile hit, detuned, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with Vegas, but the crosswinds can get pretty nasty in Vegas. I've never crashed. My wife, hopefully she's not watching, because I'm sure I'll say some stuff she probably doesn't want to hear, but I said, I don't crash. I just don't do that. And knowing that once you go fast enough, long enough, your day's going to come. You're going to scrape the wall. You're going to do something, right? Yeah. So we go out there. I pass the grandstands. The wind hits the side of the car. Well, the parachute's coming out at the same time. The parachute opens on the side of the car. It picks up the back of the car, turns it sideways, and I tap the wall on the front end. So that combo, that car, one pass with that, we scraped the wall. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So,
okay, I got you. I lost you.
I apologize, guys.
I lost you a little bit in the walk over, but
no, it's a little bit of a walk, but I apologize.
No, you're good, man. So let's get our train of thought back here. So the rules, obviously you've seen the rules for this year.
Yes,
you're running the nitrous combination. There won't be too many people running nitrous. So what do you think about the rules overall in general? Do you think there's a lot of parity within all the different combinations?
I do. I think that the Nitrous Deal is already pretty light. I know that Kai couldn't get down to weight, and quite a few people couldn't get down to weight. I'm a full-grown man, so I'm not, 140 pounds. So getting those cars down to that weight are pretty difficult. I think Lizzie probably was the only one that could get down to weight. So they pulled 25 pounds off. My car is super light. I'll say that. Todd built a really light car, so that does help. But I do think nitrous cars, I wouldn't run the car if I didn't think I could win. So I think we can win. It's going to be interesting. I think all the cars are going to be really, really quick. I think it depends on the racetrack too, how aggressive we can get early. if we can get out there and stay in front of some of them big power cars like the screw blowers and the Pro Charge cars, I mean, they make a ton of horsepower, man.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So you said earlier that your car is at the chassis shop right now.
Yes, sir.
If everything goes well, are you going to try to get a test session in before Ohio?
To be honest, I mean, I'd love to, right? I mean, that was the thought process. The car's been in North Carolina since March, trying to get everything buttoned up. But, you know, if I have to, dude, I'll come in there guns blazing and just make it happen. I've done it before. It's not the way I like to do things. I like to be ready, prepared, tested, and just kind of have my arms wrapped around everything. But sometimes it just doesn't allow for that. So you have to just make do with what you got and still figure out a way to win.
Right. So let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about before you decided to race in No Prep Kings this year. What kind of racing have you been doing the last few years?
So we do small tire radial stuff. We own the West Coast Hard Association, so we've thrown a lot of races for probably about 15 years. But small tire prep stuff is where we've been. We're going to do some more of those. I have a few cars. So we have the MPK car, which obviously is a 68 Camaro we call Tombstone. We have a 68 Nova that has a big inch nitrous motor deal in it that we're going to do some no prep stuff. There's a few tracks out here that do back of the track racing and things like that. We're going to go dip our toes into that a little bit too. And then we have a street car. It's a 69 Chevelle that we can do some of the street stuff. So really with the Street Outlaws program, we kind of have a car that actually fits pretty much all the shows that they would like. If we fit the bill and what Sam wants and needs, which I think we do, then I think, we could run a lot of different places. Again, if my wife's watching, I don't want her to hear that part because that means I have to go to the street once in a while, but she's not a big fan of that, but we'll see.
So what was it? Who was it, or what was it that made you want to do this No Prep Kings thing? That was somebody giving you the scratch, itching your,
Yeah. So basically Bodhi. I've been friends with Bodhi for a long time. He's a great guy. And I mean, you see people on the TV and you get an opinion, right? Like I had an opinion of Daddy Dave until I ran into him in the airport, and he was actually a really cool dude. And I'm like, wow, you're not what I thought you were. Cool guy. But Bodhi is genuinely a good dude, man. And we were talking about it a couple years ago, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay with the smallest tire stuff. And I was thinking about buying another car and kind of wanting to do it, but I didn't want to get rid of my Camaro. And the home building industry was going insane the last few years. So I'm like, man, I really just can't leave that much because I'm the vice president of a home builder. So for me, it didn't fit perfectly, right? And not that anything ever does fit perfectly. You just kind of shove it in there and hope it works out. With that being said, we went ahead and I talked to him again this year. I talked to a lot of the California guys, Giuseppe, Mike Bowman, Jerry Jansen, and Jim Howe back on the east side of the country. And I talked to Pat quite a bit, Musey, because he'll be tuning the car and helping us a little bit. So talking to all those guys, I'm like, you know what, now it's now or never. Let's go get it done. And that's why we're going. And again, I love competition. I think that the best racing in the country is in the MPK stuff. It's not, I don't see it anywhere else.
Right. I'd agree with that, man. And so No Prep Kings this season 6, you've obviously seen the schedule. I know it's definitely your goal, obviously, to make every single race.
Yes, sir.
What have you done to prepare yourself to try to make every single race as far as parts go? Maybe talk about your team, like what kind of crew you have helping you, stuff like that.
So I'm pretty fortunate in that aspect. So go back a little bit. I was a young kid. My dad is a cowboy. That's how obviously I went into that lifestyle. My parents did get divorced when I was a kid, and my stepdad was into drag racing. I'm like, that's weird. So again, both worlds kind of combined, right? When that happened, we went ahead and started racing when we were kids. So my stepdad retired. And he's like, hey, I like to travel and all that stuff. I said, well, heck, that's perfect for me. So he's going to be driving our rig from race to race. And then Reed Taylor, he worked for some pro stock teams and some alcohol funny car teams. He's coming on as crew chief with Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee owns an engine shop, formerly in California, got smart, moved out of California, got to Idaho. And they're both amazing. He raced Comp Eliminator. So we have a lot of help in that aspect. And then Mark Menser, again, nobody can beat Mark when it comes to suspension. He is phenomenal. So Mark's a great friend of ours. He said, Danny, I'll help you and get you going down in the right direction. And Todd Buckner built the car, so he'll come to some of the races. He's pretty busy and can't make a lot of them. But so we have a really good team. Again, when it comes to parts, we have a fresh bullet in the car, trans converter we're in. I mean, everything's pretty much new. We do have some spare parts because I know this is going to be hell on parts. We don't have a spare motor right now. I'm hoping to pick one up here, and I guess it kind of depends on how crazy it gets at the beginning of the year to see kind of where we're at. But, spare pistons, rods, cranks. I have one crank extra. Valve springs, valves. I'm going to spare set of cylinder heads. I like to win. So unfortunately, when you like to win, you're a retard and you push stuff and they break. So we got to have some parts.
For sure. And then now when you were coming into this season, at the time before they announced this whole new team format, you were going to be with Team Cali, coming out of the West Coast, being on Team Cali. And obviously now you've heard about the new team format. What are your thoughts about that?
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Let me back up. I did want to do the Team California thing. Don't get me wrong. I was talking to Bodhi quite a bit. He was excited to have us on the team. Again, Bodhi's known us for a long time and knows a lot about us. And I think we bring a lot of things to the table that, not that we're special, because I'm not saying that, but there's this thing I would look for in people. It's a PhD. When I hire people and want to be surrounded by people, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're a PhD," and I'm like, "It's passion, hunger, and drive, right?" Those are things that your mama and your daddy should have taught you. You have it or you don't. I can't help you get it. Because you can learn a lot of stuff, but those things are kind of in you or they're not. So I really think that, like, when you look at it, a lot of these teams and the leaders of these teams have passion, hunger, and drive. I mean, they're all beasts. I mean, every captain that's up there, I think everybody would love to race with and beat. Don't get me wrong, because I like to beat them. Be interesting to see who gets this 8th one. But again, we're excited to do the California thing. But I really do think this new format is pretty cool. I'm not sure of all the details of meaning going from futures to say the reserves of the bench or whatever you want to call it, the free agent market. I don't know how that looks because it could change tomorrow. But again, I don't, unless you know something I don't know. I've asked a lot of people about it, and they're pretty close-lipped on how all that works. And maybe it's because they don't know yet. I don't know, but I was telling my team, I'm like, we got to make sure we get to where we can get selected and to get on as fast as we can. And hopefully we land on a good team. You don't want to, again, I think everybody that's there is going to be really, really good, but you want people to want to win as bad as you do. So I think everybody that's leading these teams have those qualities.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Danny, just seeing you so far, I think you're like, what the program is and how the futures work and how you're going to get up to the next level. You know what I mean? You have your social media going strong. You're present by going to try to make every single race. You know what I mean? And then, you got to kind of create a character per se, or excitement about you on TV and stuff like that. So talked about how that drive is like to do those 3 things and to know what it is to try to make that jump from futures to the big show this year.
I think Sam and the TV show, they have certain needs, right? And you have to fulfill those needs. Just like anything, business. If you can fill a hole that they have, then you're valuable. If you can't, then you're not valuable. With that being said, I think for us, we're a little different. Obviously, I'm a cowboy. The Western lifestyle is huge, especially because everybody thinks they want to be on freaking Yellowstone or something, right? So everybody watches it. It's real popular right now. With that being said, I watched UFC for a long, long time. I don't know if you did. There was a guy named Donald Cerrone. They called him the Cowboy. He didn't win every fight. I mean, he was a bad dude. He didn't win every fight, but he was the Cowboy. And of course, I related to him. So I'm like, that's my guy. That's my fighter. In drag racing and No Prep Kings, I don't see anybody that people that come from the Western lifestyle can quote unquote relate to and say, he's just like me. He comes, he wasn't given a race car. He wasn't given a bunch of money. He didn't come from millionaires. Like, you worked for everything you got the whole way through. And that's the Western lifestyle is, be genuine, work hard, do the right thing. Definitely not perfect, going to make mistakes, but you try to do the right thing, but it takes a ton of work. So I think with MPK and any of the stuff that Street Outlaws does, we offer something that maybe, it's not there. It's just not there yet. So I think we can fill that hole, but you got to be kidding yourself if you think it's not going to be a fight every single race just to get there, more or less, actually racing it and do well, right? So it's going to be a battle. And I refuse to lose. I've never accepted losing. It's not something that I'm good with. Everybody says the same thing, but some people take it pretty serious.
Right. Yeah, for sure, man. That's a good attitude. So last year we saw there was a couple really fast future guys. Okay, Manny, Nate, stuff like that. Are you looking forward to racing any of those guys to start off the year? Is there any grudge racers or any grudge races you want to have with certain guys that you look forward to for this No Prep King season?
You know, I'll tell you, like, for us, I'm a nice guy for the most part, right? If you're cool, I'm a nice person. I'm a great person, or at least I feel like I am. Other people might say different. I don't know, but I'll never duck out from a fight either. You know, they are fun to do. So with that being said, anybody that wants to race in a grudge deal, like, let's do it. Let's get it on them. Let's figure out who's gonna be faster. It's not always gonna be me, but I guarantee it's not always gonna be you. So I don't have one person in particular that I want to go and race with and try to beat. I do think that I want to beat the best, and the best, in my opinion, there's about 5 or 6 that are just, they're going to be hell to beat. And you did something when you beat them, right? Everybody there's a hitter. The whole, one thing I don't like is when they're like, I don't know that guy. I don't know nothing about his card. He's probably not very good, and I'm badass, and I'm going to beat him. I'm like, dude, really? You know who he was. I get it, right? But at the end of the day, there's no ducks over there. I mean, name one person that's going to be in the Invitational that's a duck. None. They're all good. Yeah. So I think for us, we're not multimillionaires, say like Manny when he tried to come in the show, and Alex Laughlin. They're great racers in NHRA and other places. They're good dudes. We're not in that same situation, right? So I think when we go in there, we're like everybody else. We're going to earn our spot. We want to do well for ourselves and our brand of Topol Motorsports, but we also want to do well for our fans and the Street Outlaws program. So I think you just have to attack it different, right? I think you have to go at it as a business mindset, have as much fun as you can. You're going to burn stuff up. You're going to get in some scrapes, and you just, how you come through those things, I think, is where Sam sees the value. And it's like, you're going to make all the races. You're going to tear apart. You're still going to come. You're not going to be like, I get upset because somebody says something bad and you're not going to show up at the next race. I think you have to put in the time, and I don't want to have to sit there and stay in futures or reserves or whatever that is for the whole season.
Right.
I will if I have to, but I don't plan on doing it.
Yeah. So by season's end of this year, where would you like to be as far as, your personal goals? Like where do you want to be when season's end comes?
By the end of the season, I definitely see us being on the show. And that's a hell of a goal in itself. I remember when we got the race car trailer, I was writing out my goals on the racer board as we're loading up all our stuff and sending it to North Carolina. And I'll always be honest with you, good, bad, or indifferent, right? I go, make the Invitational, finish in the top 15 in points. And then they change the format. And then I'm like, man, that's going to be difficult. So I'm out there with the eraser. Take it back off. I said, let's just make the Invitational, man. Let's just get in there and make the Invitational. Let's make sure that they know going into next season, there's a freaking crazy cowboy with a Camaro that's going to put an ass whooping on some people. I'm going to take some ass whoopings, that's for sure. But at least they know who you are. They know that you're there. You're not going there just to play and get on TV. You want to win some races, and you want to add value to a team.
Right. For sure.
Get on the damn show. That's the biggest part.
Be on the show. Yes.
Right.
That's a great goal. Danny, if you want right now, we'll take some questions from some fans.
Okay, let's do it.
Also, we can talk about it, I guess, now. The giveaway. If you want to do the giveaway tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Chris. Dave. Okay, so basically what we had said is if we get X amount of people to watch the live feed, because obviously you guys support us, we're going to support you back. We're going to pick somebody out of here that's making some comments. So start dropping comments in here, and we will send out a free shirt, new Topol Motorsports shirts. They're on our website, so you guys can kind of see what they look like. We got hats and shirts and stuff on there already. And then, of course, on our Instagram and our Facebook pages, you guys can see the stuff too. But yeah, we want to give away a free shirt. We're excited to be part of this. We want to show you guys that we really value you guys. And I think this is just a small token to show you that we appreciate you.
That's awesome. And to add to that, you'll be getting a Stat Guy shirt as well.
which is awesome. And thank you so much, Chris. I mean, you don't have to do that, and that's really cool, man.
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, get your questions in there. Danny, can you see the comments, Danny?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Let's see here. So Tim Rigby is a great friend of mine. He was actually my business partner and is my business partner in West Coast Hot Rod Association for a long time. Now we're starting to get a lot of questions. Doug, did you quit promoting West Coast Hot Rod? We still own West Coast Hot Rod, man. I'll be honest with you, like I always am. I lost $10,000 in Tucson, Arizona throwing a race. Pissed me off pretty good. I don't like losing money. My wife came to me and says, if you're going to spend money on racing, you need to be racing again. And I said, I think you are a genius. Let's go racing. Let's see here. Why name your car a Tombstone? Because I am crazy. Basically, you're going to laugh. Obviously, I'm a cowboy. So Tombstone is my favorite movie, along with Lonesome Dove. So you got to be a little bit older to know about Lonesome Dove. I don't think too many of the younger people are going to know Lonesome Dove. But with that being said, I was like, you know what? It's got to be a cowboy name. I could have named the car John Wayne because he's an ass-kicking son of a bitch. I'm like, I don't want another man's name on my car, so I'll probably just stick with Tombstone. So that's how we came up with that.
Yeah.
That's how we did that. Mr. Dana Westover, super fast, super guy in Las Vegas. Let's see here. The train station, Ed. Yes, we can do that. We can get some people to the train station if need be. Like I said, I don't go looking for fights, but I'm not going to duck my head from him either. Oh, see, he watched Lonesome Dove with his mom every time it comes on. See, you're smart. Have you tested on a big tire no prep surface, Brad? I have not. I have not had a chance to do that yet. My car is a little bit behind. Okay, a lot behind to where I wanted it, but things do come up. I get it, but we're gonna get out there. I mean, hell, if we got to go out there and race without testing, it's gonna get a little Western. We're gonna let it hang out and see what happens. But I'd rather not if we don't have to. But it wouldn't be my first time doing it.
Right.
If I had a choice to raise anybody in heads up, who would it be? Choice to race anybody in heads up, who would it be? Like I said, all of them, but I think the Bird Boys, nitrous car to nitrous car type thing, I think they do a great job and they're really, really fast. Lizzie, of course. I'd like to know we have the fastest or one of the fastest nitrous cars there because there's not very many of us. And with that being said, we all need to stick together. All of us nitrous guys, we need to get one team, just all the nitrous cars. And the Bird family, awesome racers, Museys obviously, and they're coming to help us. So we're going to, I think we'll have good success with having Pat helping us with that stuff. Tim brought up a good point. So the West Coast, for you guys that don't know, the West Coast track surface is, it's not like out east. Like you go back to say Georgia, it's one of Donald's races. It is rip your shoes off, socks, break an ankle. It's insane prep, right? Well, out here, I paid people to come in and prep the track. I mean, absorbent amount of money by the time you pay for all the glue and do all these other different things. And it still wouldn't be prepped anywhere near what we had out there on a consistent basis. Once in a while, yes, I'm like, oh, we hit it. We got a home run. But the tracks won't allow us. Some tracks won't allow us to do basically take off the handcuffs and let us do whatever we want. So when that happens, it makes it kind of difficult. Your hands are tied. You're throwing a race. It's a big race. You got 300 cars there. You're trying to give the prep that you want. And they're like, no, you can't spray no more glue. Well, I already paid for all this, so why not? Well, we don't want anything to happen to our track. I'm like, it's going to be there when we're done. It's not going anywhere. So at the end of the day, some of our racing is very similar to no prep racing. So I guess I have some experience at some of that stuff.
Right. Danny, what do you do for your daily job? I mean, what constitutes you as a real cowboy?
So my real job that pays all the bills does not. I'm the vice president of a home builder in Vegas. So I've been building homes since I was 17 years old, and I'm 44 now. So I'm getting up there a little bit. A lot of experience in that. But we own the Western Rough Stock Company, which is a buck and bull company. So we have buck and bulls. I think we have about 12 head right now. So we go to what they're called futurity events, and it's the younger bulls that buck with a dummy. And then as they get to 3 years old, which is their derby year, they start getting a rider on them, and then the classic year. So not last year, the year before, we won the futurity, which is a 2-year-old division, won a championship in that, went to the World Finals in Las Vegas at South Point with the ABBI. Had a rough out the first day. They bucked twice. The second out, we did pretty damn good, but it's combined, so we didn't quite cash a check, but we weren't too far out. And then I have one bull with a partner out of Minnesota, and he has we have a bull called Time for Magic, and that bull was in the NFR, which is in Las Vegas last year. And we also were number 6 in the world at the PBR at the beginning of this season with that same bull, Time for Magic. And the PBR final is actually going on right now in Fort Worth down in Texas. So we own that. We own the U.S. Buck and Bull Association, so we're going to start throwing some Buck and Bull events. Of course, like my wife says, I knocked some stuff off the plate. Like we owned a big tattoo shop, 2 of them actually in Vegas. We sold those. Sold our fuel business at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I'm like, okay, I'm knocking the plate down, babe. And then she turns around. I'm like, oh, by the way, we're going to start throwing Buck and Bull events, and I want to go no prep Kings race. And she's like, oh, my God. So I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. But the Buck and Bull event is actually is taking a big back seat to MPK. We're focusing on that. We got to stay focused on that. As you know, Ryan Martin, Justin Swanstrom, Kai Kelly, all those guys, they're focused on it. So if you plan on running anywhere near them, you better focus too.
Yep. Well, yep, 100%.
So, yeah, we do that. We do some rodeo. My son is big into youth rodeo, too. We youth rodeo with him quite a bit. We have an arena here at the house and rope horses and all that stuff. So
cool, man. That's good family fun there.
It's something.
What about sponsors, Dan? You want to shout out any of your sponsors that you have for this season?
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. So Mark Menser, as I said earlier, amazing products. RC Components, Rosler Transmissions, Kip Kaufman at City Garage and Body Shop. That's the guy that painted the car. He paints a bunch of the small tire grudge cars on the East Coast. Annette Bauer, she's doing all of our social media stuff. She's awesome at it. I know you know her pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
She's helping us a ton, and I can't thank her enough. Red Tide Canopies and Marketing did our website, did our canopies. I know he does a lot of guys' canopies out there. And then, like I said, Todd Buckner built the car at TNT Fabrications. Great guy. If you guys need a car built, he's a smaller shop, so it does take a little bit of time. And that I'm obviously having an issue of trying to get it out faster type thing. But he got one set of hands, man. You like to work so fast, and I understand that. His work is really, really nice. So it's worth a little bit of time when you have it. And then, of course, Pat Musey. Pat's going to help tune the car, and we get all of our parts from Pat. And we're excited to go down there and try to represent the Nitrous guys and see how it goes, man.
Nice, man. And where can people follow you on all your social media platforms? TopolMotorsports.com is our website.
Actually, the wife just got the store running with Josh Minson over there at Red Tide. So we have shirts, ladies tank tops, hats all in there already. That's going to keep growing and evolving. We're doing another shirt with a car on it. We're also doing hoodies and all kinds of fun stuff. And then on Facebook and Instagram, both, it's just Topol Motorsports. So we're pretty easy to find. Yes,
you are, man. I found you on all your social media platforms probably a couple months ago. So it was cool, man.
No, I appreciate all the support, man. It means a lot.
First off, I want to thank you, man, for coming on the show tonight. It's been fun learning about you for sure. I want to thank all the fans for coming in and supporting, obviously, the Stat Guy show and supporting Danny. You're definitely going to see him at No Prep Kings this year. Hopefully every event. Check him out. Stop by. And then when this is over, Danny will choose one of you lucky winners of the Stat Guy shirt and the Topol Motorsports shirt. So, again, thanks, everybody, for coming on. Thank you, Danny, man. I'll be at the Ohio race. I'll definitely come meet you, man.
Heck yeah, please do.
I wish you the best of luck this year, sir.
Thank you so much, Chris, for all you do for everybody.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.